All right. All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Organized, our webinar series on organizational capacity building. I am your co-host, Leisha McKinley-Beach, and let me tell you, I'm so excited about our number one. We back. We have missed y'all. And so thank you so much for joining us. And number two, we now have a co-host. Y'all know him. He was behind the scenes, and now this year he is serving as the co-host of the organized webinar series. So y'all give it up. Let's welcome Mr. Darion Banister as our new co-host.
Thank you, Miss Leisha. It is an honor and a pleasure. Let me tell you, the past year to 2 years, actually, we've been doing these webinars. It has been amazing. It has been so good to just see so many people and hear so many people across the South, even across the country, that have been watching our webinars, and they've really enjoyed everything that we've been presenting. And it's so nice to be able to see everybody for once, and y'all just don't see me behind the scenes or actually hear me occasionally just throw in one good word. So welcome. Happy 2021.
Yes.
St. Patrick's Day. I do have on my green.
Oh no, I forgot, Darion. Why you didn't tell me?
Well, somebody is gonna get pinched. I'm not gonna say who, but a couple people on the line. I don't tell nobody.
I found a green cup. Don't ask what's in it, but I got a green cup.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, we here at the Emory University Campus Coordinating Center, we created these webinars organized as monthly series for a busy nonprofit professional like the two ladies that we have right here. And we're going to talk more about that later. But this is just a quick how to, quick hour, just a quick moment of your time, brief, to talk about a lot of the capacity building needs that you all have been telling us that you all want to hear about, that you all need, and just something that we can do as you're going along your day.
Yes, and Darion, again, I'm just so happy to have you from behind the scene. You bring an energy to Compass and to the organized webinar series, and I'm excited that people are now going to get to the sense to see, hear, and feel all of that. So one of the things that we're doing different this year with Organize is we get a theme song for each of the webinars. And so you just heard it. I'm Every Woman by Shaka Khan. I was,
Original.
yes, I was interested in me that you chose the original over Whitney Houston because you know that's my girl. Um,
I
but
mean,
but tell us, Darion, why I'm Every Woman for this webinar?
because we're talking about the women that one are in the South that are carrying the torch for so many. And you know what? I just have to say, for so many women that have been in social services that do this work, so there are so many ladies out there, including like my own mother, who has been in social service work since, well, before I was born. It means so much to me to just have two ladies like Chris and Miss Stringfellow, Linda Nicole Stringfellow here, and you, Miss Leisha McKinley-Beach, to be here. And you know what? Every time I think about that song, I'm Every Woman. I can see in the video. I'm not that old, so I wasn't around when Shaka Khan made the song. But just to think about it, because y'all know I love Shaka and I love Whitney too. But you know what? Even Whitney Houston had to pay homage to Shaka
Oh
Khan
yeah.
song, so I had to do it myself. And she is from back home. She is from Illinois, so we had to. She is from Chicago, so I had to make some love from the home team. Which, as many of y'all know, Miss Stringfellow, you know what I'm talking about. Chicago is northern Mississippi, so and there's a reason for that. If y'all don't know, just pick a city in Mississippi and then go to Chicago, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Wow, that's awesome, Darion. And I think the song you chose was fitting for today's discussion. And so we're going to get ready to introduce our two presenters on today. But I'm also going to ask you in the chat feature, let us know where you're tuning in from. Let these fabulous women know who showed up to hear the great nuggets of wisdom that they will be sharing with us. Uh, our first speaker, Miss Linda Stringfellow. I have known Linda probably almost a decade. When I met Linda, she was working for AmeriCorps,
Mhm.
Darion, it was no surprise to me. You spend 30 seconds with her, and you'll know why she spent so much of her career there and helping to build people's capacity to be ready for the workforce. Um,
Absolutely.
and now here she is, the CEO and founder of her own organization, Fabric. And so I'm really excited about what she has to share with us. This next young lady, I had the honor of meeting last year. Um, and Chris, know I'm gonna butcher her last name. Y'all know I'm country, so I'm not even gonna try. She gonna have to tell you when she comes up. But Chris is the CEO of AIDS Leadership Foothills-Area Alliance. To many of us, we know it as ALFA. And let me tell you, Chris is going to share just her journey in leading ALFA up in the hills in North Carolina. Um, what I can tell you about both of them is when we start talking about a rural experience in the South, it
Mhm.
don't get more rural than where these two women are and where they are serving. One thing that I've learned about Chris leading ALFA, which by the way got its start back in 1987. And so we're talking about one of those agencies that have been around nearly the entire epidemic. But what
Mhm.
I learned about ALFA and Chris during the pandemic was her commitment, Darion, to the agency, to the community where she lives, work, play, and worship. And during that period, I got a chance to see Alpha grow, expand its services. While some folks were shutting down, they were building up and they were providing COVID testing and
Yes.
still making sure that people had the ability to test and seek care and treatment and all of these amazing services during a pandemic. And that really does speak to her leadership. So if you didn't know, I hope you hear it in my voice. I'm so excited about what these two women have to share with us on today.
Absolutely. So, I haven't known either of these ladies as long as you've known Miss Stringfellow. So, I met them both, BC, as I like to say, before coronavirus.
Oh no, that's
Yes.
what it's all now.
I'm when I tell you I'm coining that phrase, y'all gonna be using that everywhere. You all, if y'all see an email from me and anything before coronavirus, you all will see it's gonna be called BC before coronavirus. I know this is the new term. This is what we're calling it now. It's like we're in a whole new day. So yeah, and then now we're gonna be AV after vaccine. That's gonna be later. So
Oh no.
I'm, look, this is what it means to me. And let me tell you, so literally, we went down, me and Althea went down to Cleveland, Mississippi, right before everything shut down in February, right before we had our big Transformative Grant Partners meeting. And let me tell you, Miss Stringfellow and the whole crew, when I tell you they took care of us, they made us feel at home. And you could just feel the passion from her. Like I don't know about y'all if y'all have ever been to Cleveland, Mississippi. So it's down in the Delta. You can't fly in there. Honestly, the best flight you might want to go is either Jackson, Mississippi, which is about 2 hours, 15, 30 minutes away, or Memphis, Tennessee, which is 2 hours away the other direction. But we made it down and we had the time of our life. You would never think you'd hear about having the time of your life in a city like Cleveland, Mississippi. But we did, and we had a ball, and the whole community just was there. They showed up. When I tell you, she got folks that you wouldn't even think about hearing from. She had, I'm just gonna say, she had the links there. She had all the sororities, the Black Greek letter organizations, like every building to show out. And let me tell you, when we went down to Hickory, North Carolina, so I tell you, me and Nina, we went down there to see Chris. That was our very first trip, and that's probably why we ain't really did too many more site visits after that. Cause so we got in a car accident on the way. But that's neither.
Oh no.
Yeah, you remember that. So, but you know what? We kept on trucking, and because we just had to see them. We were crazy. We didn't know what we were thinking. We made it. And Chris was one just like, first of all, why are you here? Are you crazy? After we got there, we had the time. We had a wonderful time. Like everybody in the staff was so nice. Everybody in the community was so nice. We were there for their AIDS walk. It was so good to see a community come together and support an organization, especially in the rural South. Because some places, you don't say HIV. You don't say sex. But in these two cities specifically, there were people there that didn't have a problem saying it. Yes, we had sex. Yes, this is why we're here. Yes, we're here to learn about sexual health. It was just so good to see that. And these two ladies are literally changing the game across the country, across the South, but first starting with their own local communities. And it is just amazing to have y'all here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, you know what? We're not gonna take up their time. We know we got some folks who signed on and they want to hear what these young ladies have to say. So I just want to start with both of you, Chris and Linda. Just kind of share with us your motivation. To Linda, I know you started an agency. What was your motivation to do so? And Chris, you are now leading an agency. And what was the desire? What need did you see that said, you know what, I need to be a part of this?
Um, Thank you to both of you all. I'm happy to be here on this call. I guess I'll take my glasses off. I got pissed off with my employer. That's what made me start Fabric. I was not. It was a grant world. I had been there 18 years, and no, 16 at that time, and I had had enough of the games that was being played pertaining to funding and numbers. And it's my people. I'm in the Mississippi Delta. The people look like me, darker than me, fluffier than me, smaller than me. And I did not appreciate the numbers game because it all boiled down to was not satisfied with you use my peoples to get the grant funds, but at the same time, you were really not concerned with the services. So I kept just telling God that I was pissed off and had enough. And he kept giving a word to me, and it was fabric. And I kept looking it up. I was like, no, not some material. But when I started looking it up, it was actually the social fabric, the interwoven pieces of society. So that's where it came from. But fabric is actually an acronym. It is a process that you take individuals through to get them to independence and sustainability. And so when you make the impact on the individual, that makes the impact on the home, the community, the jobs, and everything else. So fabric is actually an acronym. Now, look, don't ask me what that acronym is because I don't have a paper in front of me, but it all derived from me being pissed off with my employer.
Well, you talk about taking a negative and turning it into a positive, Darion. It's like, well, I tell you what, I know how to make this do what it do, so I'm just gonna go start an agency. How about that?
I know that's right. If you get lemons, you just make lemonade.
Yep. And Chris, so you made a decision to join ALFA. What was the motivation behind that?
Well, that went back to my experience in my 30s. I went back to school as a single parent of 3 little kids and fell into, believe it or not, feminist studies. I will say,
I believe it because I know you now. I believe it.
Miss Angela Davis was a professor at my school, so we had some cred. And when I was in those studies, that's when really the personal is political really clicked for me. Like all these struggles that I had being a single parent and struggling with that, there was a reason for it, and it was the system was stacked against women. And then of course I learned about, intersectionality and racism and homophobia and like how that all was intertwined. And also while I was in school, I was taking some classes in the sociology department that were focused on kind of taking the problems in society and actually doing something about it. So it was an internship program where we went into nonprofits and did needs assessments and helped them with capacity building. So I came with those kind of skill sets, like the passion and the skill set. Then this was in California, my little liberal bubble. I moved to North Carolina for love, and right into a very conservative Southern town. It was total culture shock for me. And I will tell you also, I did this in 2008, right when the economy was tanking. And I had a degree in feminist studies in this red county in North Carolina. So seeing as how I was not extremely employable at that point, I had started looking for volunteer opportunities. And ALFA was just such an amazing organization that had been around. And I knew that getting involved with ALFA would be an instant litmus test for me in that area, that anybody that was involved in HIV or LGBTQ advocacy, I could connect with. So started volunteering with ALFA, and the more that I got into it, the more I got into learning about health inequities and how HIV is so disproportionate. African Americans are so disproportionately represented in HIV, and then it just kind of snowballed into this. It's just a passion for me now. And then we, like Leisha was saying, we have been growing and growing, and we see so many needs in the community, and people come, and you all say that, in Hickory, where I live, people talk about sex and HIV. That's not true. They talk about it within the walls of our establishment. So we're a safe place for that sort of thing. So the more I could see that folks came to us as a refuge, then we could kind of expand who we were a refuge for.
I just have to say that is amazing. The fact that you can be that safety net.
Yeah.
And that honestly, that speaks volumes to you, to your agency, to the culture that you all have created, that you both have created. Like just literally being in those areas, you could tell, where maybe the safe is, where you might not want to say one or two things, and where even, my skin color, I know I might be a little fair, but I might not want to be there after a certain time. You can still feel that. And it's really just so amazing to hear you both, just kind of take the bull by the horns and just go in a separate direction from maybe some things you were doing before. And, as we're talking about that, we're talking about, women in leadership. What are some things that you all would encourage other women that want to do similar, that are starting their organizations, that are trying to move in a different path, even though technically, their degrees may say something else. Maybe, they may have an accounting degree, but they have a passion for this. What do you all give to those ladies?
I have so much I could say, but I'm gonna be limited. Can I ask those that are here with us, sharing this time and space with us, is it okay if I ask, can we see your face? Can we see your faces?
So Miss Linda, let me say, everybody didn't try to pick out their fro like me. So that's probably why some folks don't want to show their face.
Listen, I touched up, but I'm trying not to stand up. So I understand we all have adjusted to this doom world. I touched up. Don't let this necklace fool y'all now, okay? This might be a bed sheet up under this necklace. I'm telling y'all, I done learned how to make this Zoom thing pretty. And if we see your faces, I'm trying to build a connection with people. Yes, that's all, just trying to build a connection. If you see something black go across the screen, I'm a parent. I'm a parent. I'll put it that way. Okay, so what I would say, first of all, is truly know what it is that you want to do. It doesn't matter about your degree. I have a couple of degrees. My degrees are in criminal justice and human capital development. And yes, in some of these working communities, I feel like I'm chasing crooks and criminals. So, and I'm trying not to be a crook and criminal. And I do a lot of HR stuff. So it helps, but at the same time, the degrees didn't help anything. It was my passion that drove it. And it's my passion that continues to drive it, because I know that certain things that I wanted to see happen in my community. Yes, you know, I came in the door because we're about to be 5 years old in April. I came in the door wanting this big dream, and I expected my friends to follow me and support me, and even people that I had helped with their vision. And that first year, it wasn't what I expected. It took hard work, but at the same time, it was my passion. And then I had to realize, Linda, you're building your legacy. It's important for me to build my legacy. I don't like to think about the other side and pass it on. And at the same time, I'm like, no, we're going to celebrate this now. And we're going to have our things that we initiate, but don't try to move too fast. Just take it, watch it grow. And if you started this, but at the same time, bring some people, or just wait for God to plant those people in your path, that's going to help you grow it and get it to the point where it's definitely self-sustaining. But degrees, I wasn't even worried about my degree. I thank the Lord for it. And at the same time, I need the money to come along so the student loans can evaporate. You notice I say evaporate. I ain't say me pay them. I say evaporate. But just really just know what it is, have an idea of what it is you want to do, and get the right people with you, and it'll move along. I'll say that part.
Mm-hmm. And I'll echo that. I was fortunate to come into a very well-established organization, but my biggest thing has been to find good people, hire good people, support them with professional development, promoting them, and giving them some freedom. And just, if we have the same vision and passion, I don't have to do it all myself. I can't do it all myself, and letting things go and letting them, you know, pursue it. I sit back, I said earlier, you know, I'm the spreadsheet person. I'm the one who's in the back, you know, making sure we're staying on track on everything and finding the money. But I want to support what my staff wants to do. So just like not trying to do it all myself, that's just a way to get less done and kill yourself at the same time.
That's so good. And that's, that's something that everybody needs to hear. Everyone in leadership, you all can depend on others, and getting rid of some of that workload, because y'all will work yourselves. Y'all will work. One, you two already work very hard. I've seen it in person. So y'all work very hard. And like, I can't imagine you all taking on any more, but I know y'all keep doing it, and we applaud y'all for doing so. But Leisha, you know what question I'm gonna ask, because Chris triggered it when she said money. You know what? I have to ask this question because other folks want to know how you, although we know that, when it comes down to women, when it comes down to data and science, that a lot of state, a lot of federal dollars don't really go to support women intervention programs, or, care you get in there, but prevention programs, how are you all still able to provide some resources, or if it's testing, or what are you able to provide, for women, and how do you navigate through that?
Okay, for fabric, when we provide any of our services, first thing, let me go back. With fabric, there are 3 things that we focus on. Of course, the first one is our Delta Focus conference on sexual health. When Darion and the team was here, that was February 6th, 7th, and 8th. And it was amazing. We know that was touched and kissed by God, because we pulled that thing off and it was amazing. And so that conference now is a signature annual event for fabric. So that helps us, and that's for women and men. It is for the community. We did a lot of, we provide a lot of information with HIV in it, because we put it under sexual health. One of the things that fabric is focusing on, we've done a wonderful job, you all. I've been in this work for over 20 years. I was in this work back in 1994, and we've done a wonderful job with separating HIV. And it has a lot to do with the stigma. With fabric, it is inclusion. And so we put everything under sexual health. Some people don't like that, but it's okay. You don't like it, but fabric is doing it. But we put it under sexual health, and because it is sexual health and it's a public health matter. So, and then after Delta Focus, we have our Game Time initiative. That's where we work with Black males, especially young Black males. And we have to talk with our males in a different capacity. And I bring in men to talk with our young males. I need them to hear it from men so that all of them are getting educated in the same space. And then we just launched, I must say, on International Women's Day, we just launched IS, In Her Strength. And I could show the logo, but I'm not going to do it. But we have our actual women initiative is called In Her Strength. And it was powerful. We had women from Russia, Puerto Rico, and the United States, Black and white. We probably had 8 ethnicities represented. It was about 40-something women, and it was on March 8th. So when we serve women, we don't have the capacity to test. And right now, I'm not ready to move into that direction. So we connect with CH Peer. Some of you all have heard of Cedric Sturdivant. That's our, we're the husband and wife of the Delta, quote, quote, per se, and we're the sister brother organization. So anything that deals with testing, I directly contact Cedric and CH Peer so that they can do the testing for us. Anything that's dealing with our women's initiative, my board is the staff. I'm the staff and the board is the staff. We just got new board members in June of 2020 because of funding that we received, from Emory. So we got new board members. I don't get paid, and we operate in the capacity that we have. Now, as funding continues to come in, we will be able to take those 3 signature initiatives that we have and expand them. Partnerships is key for fabric. We don't want to do it all. We're not trying to do it all. Partnerships is key for us. So, and that's what, Darion experienced when they came for Delta Focus, is bringing all of my friends across the state and region together so that we can make this happen. Because people do not look at the Delta when they want to come to the state of Mississippi to have initiatives. They look at the Delta when they want to come to Mississippi and do research and get data, but not to do initiatives. That's why partnerships are essential for us.
And I will echo that again, partnerships. We also prioritize sexual health education and talk about harm reduction. We don't just make it about HIV. It's about sexual health. It's about consent. It's about HIV. It's about Hep C. It's about reducing harm in the community, empowering women to make decisions about their own sexual health, especially with things like PrEP. So definitely partnerships. We don't have a lot of women-only initiatives, but we go and do programming for women where they already are at. So we bring it to them. And then also just one thing, to touch on the funding, we just find that we have to be really creative and have a lot of diverse funding streams. and just keep looking for them and that's how we can grow. We can see something that we need in the community, and then we start looking for, well, how are we going to pay for that? And I think that's one great thing about nonprofits as opposed to a governmental agency, is that we see an issue, COVID, and we say, how can we provide services to our community, the folks we're already serving? How much harder would it be for us to offer COVID testing? It wouldn't be that much harder, but we have to make it happen. But we can just, look for the funding or include it in another program, or even like with the syringe exchange that we're doing, that was, we're testing folks who are drug users, and they're saying we need syringe access programs. And we said, all right, let's figure this out and let's make it happen. We don't have to jump through as much red tape as a government organization can. We can find funding from all sorts of different places and cobble things together and just go.
So Linda and Chris, you have laid out this foundation around the work that you do and why that was so important. You've also talked about leadership as a woman in social services, and you've answered a part of this question, but I do want to just dive just a little bit deeper. Many times when we start talking about programs specifically in HIV, they don't always cater to women. But when there are opportunities, like Linda, you mentioned, you don't provide testing, but you partner with somebody who provides testing. If you are sending women to that site, what about those models that say to you that I know women are welcome there, or you and your agencies have created environments to let women know that they are welcome? So what have you done to do that? What says to me, if I show up to one of your events, or Chris, I show up for testing at your agency as a woman, what will I see or who will I engage with that will let me know I'm welcome?
I'm thinking about it from, if I showed up, okay, what capacity am I showing up? Am I showing up as the executive director of Fabric, or am I showing up just as a woman?
You just showing up as a woman.
First of all, I need to see other women, and not just see other women. I need to see some happy, joyful, make me feel welcome women, not attitudinal women that hate to be there. If you hate to be there, I hate to be there. My God. And being completely honest, when I pull up at a building or a facility, if the facility and the building looks unkept, that's the kind of service I expect to get. And so just the way the facility looks outside, because the building greets me before anybody in the building greets me. And
you're then saying a lot, Linda.
I'm being honest. And when I get in the building, who greets me? Do I have to go and look for somebody? And then if a woman does not greet me, is not the first person that I meet and interact with, I want to be able to see a space and talk to people. And then I'm going to talk to some of the other people that are in the same facility with me, and just talk and basically get a feel of how they feel about the organization and being there and their experiences there. And that'll help guide me. And then if I am there for services, when I get back, the main person that's there and that's talking to me, how are they treating me and respecting me as a person that's there for services? That may be testing, education, anything. Or are they serving me from halfway across the room with a sheet of paper and a list and brush me off because they're just going through a checklist, checking boxes, and sending me on to say that they've met their data quota or whatever for that week, and sending me on through the quote process that has been created in-house?
Very, very good point.
So I would say for ALFA,
Chris,
I would say for ALFA, one of the ways that we make sure that women feel welcome is that we recognize that they're going to have their kids at times, you know, and we welcome the kids in the office. They're welcome to come and sit in on the meetings. We have, you know, toys and, you know, COVID and all that. We're going to have to revamp that, but, you know, coloring sheets and crayons and puzzles and things for them to play with. You know, and if kids have to come to, you know, we'll watch them. If there's something sensitive, they shouldn't be necessarily in. And other ways that we do it is if we have promotional posters or information, we make sure that they also have women, not just men on them. I just had another one. Oh, we do. I think it really kind of revolves around the fact that we recognize that women are going to be primary caregivers more than men. And so we try to incorporate the children. We do a holiday adoption at Christmas time and get gifts for 30 or 40 kids. We do a family picnic in June that revolves around Pride, which we want folks to bring kids to and make it friendly. And to me, as a woman, that would be probably the biggest thing for me, was to know that it was recognized that the kids are part and parcel of the package. And as far as like connecting with other agencies, I think that just comes from having a relationship with them and knowing how they treat other folks and making sure that we're on the same wavelength, and, you know, they're going to be judgment free and they're going to be open-minded and all that sort of thing. You know, we work with like the Women's Resource Center to do a testing event there, domestic violence shelters, substance use disorder facilities. We do things with all of those folks, the rape crisis, getting folks connected to PEP. So I think we just know, because we've been in the community so long, who's going to be a good fit for our clients and who we would maybe not necessarily want to refer somebody to.
So Linda, you and Chris, I mean, you pretty much covered everything that was on that list, you know, in terms of what's necessary to let women know that they are welcome. Chris, you started talking about from the brochures, the pictures on the wall. You know, I got to see myself, and every webinar that I have been a part of this month, that has consistently come up, that even before I start talking to people, are there images and things around your facility that says, oh, this agency or this clinic also caters to me. And Chris, I love the idea of creating an atmosphere where the children are welcome, because oftentimes that does become the determining factor whether some women are able to go and access services or not. If my children aren't welcome, then I might have to postpone this health appointment because I don't have anyone to sit with them, you know, and so all of those things are necessary. What we're gonna do, you know, Linda and Chris, they hit all the ones on my list, but I know that there are some CEOs and project managers and coordinators that are a part of this conversation as well. We want you to list in the chat feature, what are some other ideas or tools or structures that you all use to make sure that women feel welcome and that they know that they are invited to access services from your organization. And Linda, I want to say this, and then Darion, we can open it up as well for additional comments from our audience. But Linda, when I was searching for a daycare for my baby, who is now my 16-year-old baby. Yeah, she has grown up right before my eyes.
Mine too. I remember, look, I'm like, that is my same little hair.
Yeah, it didn't take long. someone had given me a recommendation for a daycare. And when I got to the address and I saw the way it looked on the outside, I'm like, oh no, this can't be. Clearly, this is before the Google map, this was during the map quest. I had to go print out the directions. I'm like, clearly, I wrote this down wrong. And I drove off, and then the person said, I know, it's not the best on the outside, but I promise you, once you go in and you meet the team, you're going to say that's where, Minnie needs to be. And they were right. But it really brought home for me, had I not had someone to be persistent about, go in and meet the folks, I would have just wrote it off. Because what I saw on the outside was, I don't want my baby being in this type of facility. And so a message to those grassroots and emerging organizations that it is important, what the agency looks like. And it may be that during this period, you're providing service or connecting people in platforms and spaces like this, until you're able to address the cosmetics of the organization as well. Well, Darion, I'm gonna turn it over to you to open up for questions or comments, or even just feelings folks have had about what they have heard so far from these dynamic speakers.
Yeah, feel free. Like, I definitely see a few executive directors and CEOs out there that I know. I'm not gonna call any names, but I'm glad y'all here. Just want to give y'all a shout out. But please, if you all have some questions, some comments, go ahead and unmute your mic, because you're right, Linda. We do need to go ahead and build this community. These are our people. These two ladies right here. When I tell you, anytime I need something, anytime I ask something, I can get on the phone. They may not want to all the time, but they're gonna do anything I ask them if I ask them to do something for us. But they're here to support you all. They're here to build community. And literally, I can truly say that these two women right here are truly here for us. They're truly here in the fight. And I don't honestly see them stopping it until we do get to the end. So please join us. Like, let us know what y'all think. And I saw a couple things flying in the chat, but go ahead and unmute your mic. Let us know what you're thinking. I see Candace Meadows has her hand up.
Hey, Linda, sorry I couldn't turn on my camera. I don't know if I can, because it's beautiful being able to see faces and being able to connect. I have a comment and a question. Leisha, to your very comment a moment ago about judging a book by its cover and dismissing whether it's a child care facility, an ASO, faith facility, I think that also speaks to having relationships and partnerships, building a rapport with our community, so that when we may be a little not kept on the outside because we don't have the resources, and like you said, that's really common with emerging organizations, the importance of building that rapport with community, with partners, so they can speak up on our behalf and shine up where we may be a little bit dusty. So I just wanted to acknowledge the importance of that. And to that point, ask Chris and Linda, how have you all developed and enhanced your partnerships, especially being in rural areas? And for Linda being a somewhat emerging organization, and then Chris speaking to being able to sustain a larger ASO. If you all can speak to that, how you all have developed and sustained your partnership. Thanks.
You want to go first, Chris?
Sure. I think it just is, our folks hitting the pavement and making sure that we're staying in contact and seeing how we can, help our partners out and what they need. I think we have one program I'm really proud of is we started a condom distribution. Well, we revitalized it, condom distribution program. And we reached out to the LGBT nightclub, but other nightclubs. We reached out to small businesses, to Black-owned barbershops, to beauty salons. And for us to be able to go, we want to serve your community. We want your community to know about us. So of course it was a double, they get a condom dispenser and ALFA information and PrEP information, but it helps them also because they're getting more clientele coming in looking for the condoms and just an ongoing relationship with our partners. What do you need now? How can we help you?
I'm a piggyback off Chris. We don't do. Look, I would love a condom dispensing machine. My God, I used to keep condoms in my jar in the candy bowl. I worked at a university. The university told me the only entity that gives out condoms here at this campus is the health department. I was like, well, my building off the official campus, so I'm keeping them in the candy jar. So whatever they do with them when they get them out the jar, that's on them. For fabric, our partnerships in actuality, like I said, I've been in this work since 1994, but building the partnerships with the organization, people knew and know me, but it's trying to get people to understand fabric. Fabric is laid out here. So that has been a big part of the journey. Yes, I show up, but I'm representing fabric. And as the organization has been developing, people are understanding truly what fabric is about. Fabric does not sit at the table with everybody. That's the first thing. We do not sit at the table. Matter of fact, we don't even want to come into your space if you are not about what's right. We have sat down in spaces and shared spaces and times with entities that we've wanted to partner with, but at the same time, we saw that the motive was not right and the motive was not pure pertaining to the people. Fabric's executive director, I'm speaking in third person, that Fabric's executive director does not run around throwing her degrees and titles. That's another thing. And you're not finna see Fabric's executive director trying to bust out some red heels and some red bottoms and all that other stuff. You're not finna see that. You better hope my clothes match, because in this work and when you serve in communities, that's not connecting to the people that need it. That's putting on a fashion show, and I'm not gonna spend my money that way. And being able to share the stories, that is the biggest part that has helped Fabric with developing true partnerships. We share our story, and from me, the executive director, to the actual organization. No, we're not perfect. We don't have it all together. Yes, I'll sit down and talk about sex with you. Oh, you need some cuss words? You can get some cuss words. Oh, you need the clean church version? I can give you the clean church version. I can sit with anybody. And at the same time, if we don't know, we'll say, hey, we don't know about that, or we're not sure about that. So no, we can't say we want to be a part of it. And we don't accept everybody's money either. And we decline them respectfully. And so we built those partnerships out of genuineness and transparency. That has been the best thing for us. Transparency is good because that lets them know that we are a nonprofit, but we serve people. We are people serving people and doing our best to become better with serving people. But we don't have time to put on airs and fronts. And so it has been good. It's quite a bit. I would say we've had a 75% transition over the past 3 years. People are seeing more about us. Our branding is key. I'm gonna go into some capacity building stuff. The logo had been in existence for 5 years, but it was never just really out there. So I had to start putting the logo out there. Every time I went to a conference, anything, the logo started being out there, and I started asking people, change my name. No, I'm not representing this. I'm representing Fabric. You know me in this capacity, but I'm representing Fabric. So I had to start putting Fabric out there, had to start getting some clothes with Fabric on it. So our branding has really helped us. And then we have a signature needle, which I love to death. And so I just started making sure the needle is seen to make people ask questions. So it was just finding creative and inexpensive ways for people to want to strike interest. You all, we're not gonna front. We just got our website up a month ago. I told you we've been around for 5 years. We just got a website up. And my cousin was the website developer, and I had to threaten her in order for her to go and put the website up. So these are true and honest things. We operate open because we want people, we are part of the space that we're inviting people to. We're not creating a space for you over there in that room, and then we going over here to this deluxe room over here. We're all sitting in this space together, and we go to other people's spaces. We go to, now we may not stay long, but we go to other people's spaces. So, okay, I'm done.
Wow, Linda, you know, I don't even know what to say. But you know what you are describing, and I was typing this in the chat feature, is utilizing what you got in rural communities, right? And so there are many things that those of us in urban communities have access to that are non-existent in many of the rural areas. And so learning how to use what you have. There's been a common theme throughout, again, not just this webinar series today, but throughout the whole month, around partnership. And that they are key and that they are necessary. So if there are folks who are on who are saying, I'm listening today because I'm from a rural area and I want to do something. I want to start an entity to support women in my community through social services. Listen at what our experts have been telling us all afternoon, and that is partnerships are key. Linda started talking about branding. Folks got to know who you are and what you do. And that is necessary as well. And this other thing that has also come up this month, and I really want our audience to take note of this, and that is, don't chase the dollars. If your agency has always served people over the age of 80, then when you see a grant for young, same gender loving men, that might not be the money that you need to go after, because that's not the vision of the organization. That's not where the agency's focus is on. Oftentimes what we see is that when there are opportunities for funding for women, agencies who don't historically serve women will expand what that category of service is, to say, oh yeah, you know, we technically sort of kind of around the way have been providing services for women. So all money that it doesn't align with the mission and vision of the agency, that might not be what's best for your organization. And that says a lot for about both of you, Linda and Chris, about your integrity for even bringing that item up. We down to the last 5 minutes, Darion. It went by so fast.
It did.
Can I add a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
And
we were gonna say, both Linda and Chris, any final words of wisdom for the audience before we wrap this up?
I'm going to ask for permission to go there and to share from El Nicole. Now, this is Linda right here. I'm going to ask for permission to go there, since we all are doing the similar work, and it does involve intimacy, sex, however we title it. Another part of partnership building in just the organization, no matter where your organization is in its growth in years of existence, starting with the lead person all the way to the person that may be mopping the floor in your organization. We must practice what we teach. One of the biggest things that we are experiencing, we're seeing in our organizations, especially our ASOs, we have individuals on staff with our organization that are sleeping with the people we are trying to serve. And in rural spaces, that travel quicker than the wind blowing from east to west with the barbecue smell. I'm telling you, people will talk and people will tell. People will tell who's on social media, on Tinder and everything else, who's a thought and who is not. And they will even tell your business in your household. And when that stuff gets out in the streets, or if even, let's say me, the executive director, I have multiple partners and I'm known for not protecting myself. There's no way people will come into those spaces, because those are tainted spaces. They may come to get what we're giving for free, but they will not be respectful to the organization, and they will not have anything good to say to the organization. And I bring that up, not as my last words, but as the word. We have to practice what we teach.
Darion, notice I held onto my pearls the whole time. I didn't know what Linda was gonna say. I was clenching them just in case, but that is truly words of wisdom.
Absolutely.
So and I think what I'd like to add is that, you know, we need to make sure that we're taking care of the women that we employ also.
Yes.
So we've been really striving to make ALFA a family-friendly place to work. COVID has really tested that with all the crazy stuff that's been going on, but we really feel strongly that you need to take care of your family. And that burden often falls on women. So I think it's just so important that we make sure, like, well, was that Linda or Ellen Nicole? But you know, we practice what we preach. We don't talk about respecting other folks in the community if we're not respecting our employees.
Amen to that. Amen. We must take care of our employees, and especially as we're talking about our women, we must take care of our ladies. Because especially, I better take care of my mom. I told y'all she's been social services for over 20 years. I'm had to go up there, then I take care of her right.
Now my last look, my nugget, honestly, my nugget is, because we are women and we serve women, and even men, I see a man on the call. Women, we're different. We need that holistic environment. Yes, we may be coming in for one thing, but we need a space where we have to talk. We are talkers, and we are emotional. We are emotional, beautiful developers and inventors. So we have to have that space. And so just keep that in mind, that holistic approach, because when you talk with us and we in that space with you, even if it's just for 15 minutes, you're going to see so many different areas where we may need something more than testing. So those are things that I just say, we look at a holistic way. And then a lot of it may be referring out, but you already have those partnerships to refer us out to. I'll put it that way, but that holistic way.
So Linda and Chris, thank you both so much. Darion, I don't know about you, but this is how we start the 2021 organized webinar series. This
was that's right.
Absolutely amazing. And thank you to the audience for your questions and your comments, letting us know where you were from. This webinar will be available on the website for reference. I do know that some of you have been asking, when will we be able to submit training requests through the Emory Compass Center? I'm certain that that's going to be up soon. As soon as that is available, we will let you know. But in the meantime, you can still visit us at gileadcompass.com. Next month, Darion, what's going to be our topic next month?
Now, next month, you know, because this month we talked about women, because this also
Women's History Month. Yep.
Well, it was three things. It was Women's History Month, and then we also had National HIV Women and Girls HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. So next month we have National Youth HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, which, you know, I'm still, you know, that's for the youth and young at heart, like myself.
Oh, then I can come if it's young at heart, because I'm far from a youth.
You know, I mean, I feel like I'm still youth, so I'm just gonna go on in there. But we're gonna hear from some millennials and possibly a Gen Z who are doing some amazing work out here that are really taking on some of the some of the things that some of our leaders have left for us. Those that like Phil Wilson, who's retired, and he's like left. He said, "All right, I'm done. Here y'all go. Y'all pick up the torch." And they are like really rocking it out. Some of these names you may know, some folks you may have seen before. So another reason why we need y'all to check out our website, all of our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and send us an email if you have any questions. Everybody got my email because I'm the one who did the webinar. So if y'all have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here for you all. And we're going to talk more and more about partnerships this year, because in May, it's going to be a big one. So just stay tuned, and we got some things coming, and be on the lookout for April too, because April's going to be some announcements as well besides the webinar. So just throwing that in there, just a little dash of salt right there, more like sugar really. So
Awesome.
thank y'all for being here, and Miss Leisha, let's close it on out.
All right. Well, we thank everybody for joining. Until next time, peace and blessings.
Until next time. Thanks again, Linda and Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.